Hi everyone and welcome, this is the Apostate Prophet. I don't know if you have ever seen the same thing, but sometimes when I look up to the sky, I see this man standing on the clouds with a bucket in his hand, and he turns it upside down and then it starts to rain. He always sends a good amount of water down. Sometimes he's an asshole and sends too much water in some regions and causes floods, and no one tells him to stop, or no one can make him stop. When I read the Quran, it says in chapter 16, verse 10, "It is he who sends down rain from the sky. From it is drink, and from it is foliage, and which you pasture animals." The Quran predicted 1,400 years ago that this man on the clouds is actually real. That man is Allah. This is a miracle. Subhanallah. How can you read this and not believe in the religion Islam? How can you read the Quran and look at the sky, see rain coming down from the sky, and not believe that this is reality? How can you not believe this is real? Do you want to burn in hell? Because Allah will not send down rain to that place. Okay, let's get serious. This is number 5 in my Crazy Quran Verses series, so don't expect too much enlightenment from this one. The Quran says in multiple verses that rain is sent down by Allah, so rain is magically coming down from the sky, or what is beyond that. That was the explanation of rain 1,400 years ago in the deserts of Arabia. That's what an illiterate merchant and part-time warlord told us. It is of course totally understandable and totally reasonable that Allah, who knows everything, would give us such an explanation of rain, when we know in modern times and in common sense that rain is just a product of the water that we have on earth. When it vaporizes, goes up and comes down again. We can explain it with very simple graphics like this one, where you see that water on the ground goes up through evaporation, forms in clouds, travels, then pours down as rain or snow, for example, just to go through the same circle again. In a more childish way, it can be explained with this. That looks very, very easy and nice. And if we want to take Allah's or Muhammad's version, then we have to be even more childish and can explain it with this one, which I have made myself with my very, very amazing skills. Here you see that Allah is on a cloud with his beautiful body and his beautiful head, holding a bucket full of endless water. He looks down on earth and then just gives us rain with that. He's like, this time I'll give them lots of water. Sometimes he even allows himself to pour down way too much and kills thousands of people in Indonesia where his faithful servants pray to him. Because he wants to take them to heaven. That's why he does that. In the times of Noah, he even allowed himself to flood the whole earth with his tiny bucket. He will probably not do the same thing again because it didn't really work very well. It failed very horribly. Oh, and in Arabia, where his favorite religion was born, where he gave his favorite prophet Muhammad his favorite religion to his favorite people, he makes people even suffer from the lack of water when he could just pour it down through this bucket. We would expect that he would do that there, right? But instead he does it in Europe for filthy Europeans. Or in Brazil, because apparently he loves the carnivals. I don't know. It must have some reason. Okay, yeah, the Quran says in multiple verses that rain is sent down by Allah. Down by Allah. How do people even explain that? I would love to see a bunch of people in the comment section here, a bunch of apologists, saying that this is just figurative speech and it doesn't really mean that. If you read it in Arabic, Allah was actually talking about the formation of earth, where rain or water came to earth from earth. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. That's all you need to know. It's a miracle, and this is the only true religion. And if you think otherwise, if you think this is not a miracle, if you think this is not a truth, if you think this is just bullshit, then stop thinking. If we think from a modern perspective, and if we look at the circle of water, you can also not just magically summon rain through prayers or anything like that. That wouldn't possibly work. But if we look at hadith, we can see that Muhammad multiple times prayed for rain and asked Allah to create rain. and Allah did it immediately. And he also asked Allah a couple times to stop the rain, and Allah did that too immediately. Narrated by some desert person. I heard Anas bin Malik saying, on a Friday a person entered the main mosque through the gate facing the pulpit while Allah's messenger was delivering the khutbah. The man stood in front of Allah's apostle and said, O Allah's messenger, the livestock are dying and the roads are cut off, so please pray to Allah for rain. Anas added, Allah's messenger raised both his hands and said, Allah, bless us with rain. O 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 Allah, bless... Just kidding. Anas added, by Allah, we could not see any trace of cloud in the sky, and there was no building or a house between us, and the mountains of Sila. Anas added, a heavy cloud like a shield appeared from behind it. When it came in the middle of the sky, it appeared and then it rained. Anas further said, by Allah, we could not see the sun for a week. Next Friday, a person entered through the same gate, and at that time Allah's messenger was delivering the Friday's khutbah. The man stood in front of him and said, O Allah's messenger, the livestock are dying, and the roads are cut off. Please pray to Allah to withhold rain. Anas added, Allah's messenger raised both his hands and said, O Allah, round about us and not on us. O Allah, on the plateaus, on the mountains, on the hills, in the valleys, and on the places where trees grow. So the rain stopped and we came out walking in the sun. I'm sure that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what occurred on that day. I'm very, very sure about this. Sometimes when I read these things, I wonder why I am even doing this. I mean, I feel pretty stupid reading Quran verses and hadiths like these. This is not the only thing. Because of Muhammad's prayer for rain, Muslims around the world still gather sometimes when there is drought or anything and pray to Allah for rain. They actually do that. It happened even a few years ago in Turkey and was organized by the municipality. According to reports, it doesn't really work. Sometimes when the weather forecast says that it will rain tomorrow and you gather in the next morning and pray, it actually rains. So sometimes it works. The Quran is full of crap, and here we had an example. It was a load of garbage, but that's the point. That's all I have to say for now. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more serious videos, please consider supporting me on Patreon to see more videos exposing how Islam is a religion of war, intolerance, and ignorance. The link to that is below in the description. I would appreciate it very much, and I'm thankful for every kind of support. Next week I will make a rather big and serious video about Linda Sarsour and the Women's March, because I have a lot to say about the matter, and it's really time we talk about it. Another thing is that I will host Armin Navabi, ex-Muslim and founder of Atheist Republic, on my channel here, probably live, in 2 weeks or so. I will announce that again on my social media accounts, so make sure to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, where I make such announcements. Things we will talk about are most probably online censorship, people who defend Islam, our common experiences with Islam as ex-Muslims, and so on. It will be great, so make sure to join us in that conversation. As said, for more updates you can follow me on social media. I'm very active on Instagram and on Twitter, and if you like reading, I'm also a writer on Gallup Report. All links to that are below in the description. I will talk to you next week. Have a great weekend, and stay away from Islam. And don't pray for rain.